Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digitisiert by PLSTR. In this show, we talk about fresh ideas in B2B marketing, sales, and digital work. Today, we're looking at AI, which we see not just as a piece of technology, but a new way of thinking. I'm Hannah, head of customer success, and with me is Gustavo, our AI specialist. Thanks for joining, Gustavo.
Thank you, Hannah. I'm excited to discuss this further.
Let's just start simple. Gustavo, why do you think focusing on AI is so important right now?
Well, AI is not just something for the future, it's already here, and we can already start implementing it. So, with this AI, let's just separate. So, we have AI, and inside of AI, we have the large language model. This is not something new, it's something that we already had before. But since some years ago, the focus on the large language model became something really big. And then with that, we can make more decisions together with this large language model, such as ChatGPT. We have Gemini from Google and several. And we are using now real data instead of just guessing. So let's say we have a report and we would like this large language model to analyze the entire report. And there are thousands of numbers. Now it's possible to make AI to analyze all of these numbers and don't forget any gap in bringing insights for us.
So it's about more than saving time. It's about improving day-to-day choices, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So AI can create better strategies, bring new ideas. And once it's part of our regular work, for example, it's changed completely. You can save time for some kind of automations that could
Mhm.
be done by AI or any kind of these large language models, as I mentioned.
All right, thank you so much. So let's get a little bit practical. How do we at Fearless AI bring AI into our processes?
Yeah, so we use AI for several areas. We have the automated research. It's basically asking AI to scan all of the internet and bring us or identify some patterns and trends that we can might use and or that we missed. Maybe we have already the report, but we haven't seen all of the numbers that we might oversee, and AI, for example, it's also helping us also in the monthly report, but in the entire automation we can create for our clients with the actions and what should be done next. Or also what is the competition is doing. So we can set a tracking that AI will daily or for a certain period check all of the competition, see what are the main activities, if there's a blog written, if there's a new product that was launched, and then immediately send you an email summarizing all of these topics. So it keeps on track of everything, and we can measure how competitive our clients are based on these actions that they are doing versus our client is doing. So you can see that AI is capable of doing everything we can imagine. So going further with these activities, we can identify high potential accounts, finding companies, matching with ideal profile from the company we are working with. So then we can have all of the information needed and send a message 100% personalized based on their information and bring together with their information something relevant that the company can connect to that and generate value. So as I mentioned, AI it's very important and it's very helpful to analyze all of this data once we are doing monthly reports, quarterly, and things like that. And with that, we can also set the actions based on the results we gathered and set the pipeline when it should be done, the tasks, how it should be, so everyone can keep everything on track. And least but not less important, we have the content creation. So I am now using AI also to create content. A lot of people are creating. However, I think the biggest difference now is how can you provide content that doesn't seem like AI written. So there are a couple of rules we can establish during our prompt, and also copy the writing style that the company is already used to. So they already have their brand guidelines. AI will learn from it, and based on that, they will create these new contents based on the information given. And something that we learn from it is that different large language model versions can be better in a certain task. So, for example, if we look at ChatGPT, that we have 5 or even more versions, there are some versions that is better when it comes to writing, and the others for reasoning. So that's
Mhm.
something we learned by doing. There are some numbers that can prove that. But it's also important to keep in mind that depending on the task that you're doing, one or another large language model version will be best for you to have the best outcome. Another point is about smarter assistants. Before, we were struggling a lot trying to communicate with this kind of chatbot, and nowadays we can set more complex question, and then our users will have a better experience when making a question or trying to solve a problem. This such a things can be fully automated. A third trend that we see coming very soon, it's already applicable in some tools, is that no coding or very low coding will be required when it comes to having a software,
Oh.
programming and coding, because AI can easily help you coding. Some platforms already exist that you just write what's your goal, and then the platform itself will try to already structure all the platform behind with codings, UI, UX. So it's very good and interesting because nowadays it's up to your creativity and your focus. You might not have all of the knowledge needed, but if you are curious enough, you already can create something from zero. And the other one, it's the predictive insights. So we can ask based on the latest news what might happen, and that can also help us to reduce some risks. So when we are establishing new actions to some of our clients, we can already predict what are the pros and cons with it. So then we can take a better decision. And the last trend I have to share here is the complete automation. And it's something that we are developing here as well. So different parts of a company can connect together so everything runs in a smooth flow. To make it simple, I will give you the example what we are currently implementing
Mhm.
here. So we are developing a tool that can fully automate your website audit and in just seconds. So basically, we'll check all of your Google Analytics, SEO, UX, and much more KPIs, and we'll analyze all of these KPIs. And then it will compare to our benchmark, setting a score, and then based on the score, we'll check how close you are to give you the points. And in the end of this automation, it will come with this audit, not only what's your result, but what can you improve. So we'll be basically one assistant, a marketing specialist, reading out these KPIs and numbers for you that might be confusing. We will explain to you in a very easy way and also give you the next steps. So based on the numbers you got, the scores for each KPI, what should you do next? What should you
Mhm.
improve? What's crucial among all of these KPIs, right? And then this platform will give you the report with all of these analyses and the next steps, what you should do.
Um, Thank you for the summary of your trends. But looking at those topics, some people worry about that AI might replace jobs. What's your view on that?
Yeah, I can fully understand that people are now afraid about it, but I see AI as a helper, not a replacement for people. Time to time, something changes and we need to reinvent ourselves. And I think AI it's here to handle repetitive tasks or something that can be automated, as I gave as an example, and the human part will be bringing our thoughts. So we are building the relationship to the client. We are solving problems that need a human touch. And I believe that the creativity that we have as humans will
Mhm.
not be replaceable to really take actions and understand how it works in a certain country that we are taking these actions. Um, yeah, so there are some nuances that fortunately it's not replaceable. Yeah, I still think that humans are here to create new things, to always think ahead and understand what's currently happening in the world. And AI will be helping us in these kind of automations.
Mhm. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, Gustavo. Any advice for companies that are just starting to use AI?
Sure. So if I were starting it with AI in another company, I would follow a simple approach. So the first step would be to find a problem that AI could might help you. So start small and then try to make it work. So we have the problem, we create a small workflow, even though if the workflow maybe is complex to you, I recommend having a kind of prompt that you will always need. Then you just fulfill the gaps for different situations, and then you can already set a workflow for you that could solve the potential problem. The second step would be to choose a large language model that you prefer, that it's easy to test. Some people enjoy Perplexity, others ChatGPT. So it depends. You should just test. So depending on what you're doing, one or another can be the best for you. Then the third step would be to run a quick test project. So, as I said, start small, keep it short, and then you will make small automations. You can save some prompts in case you would like to start even one step before. And based on these prompts, which is basically the question you make to a large language model, um, you can save time because you don't need to give the context every time for
Mhm.
repetitive work, such as we wanted to analyze potential clients here and understand their business. So for that, we created a huge prompt with a lot of steps that it's capable basically by just sending the URL. It makes a full analysis on the competition, in the products, and everything that could be actionable for the future as next steps and marketing activities that could be done.
Mhm.
And the fourth step would be to review the results. Of course, it's very important to understand that you might not get everything you wanted at once. You need a little bit more time to understand what is the output, which is the answer from this large language model. And then with that, you can notice, okay, the platform didn't understand or went to a direction. How can I change my prompt to go in the direction I want? So when you have all of the informations, just share with it, because then you can be more accurate on what you really need and what you want. So then the answer will be very personalized. And the last step is to scale gradually. So once you see the success, you got what you really wanted. Okay, what can I do next? Yeah. So based on that, I already learned a few. So what has worked, what has not, what's the possibilities, and what can I improve as next steps? is there anything else that I can automate? Is there anything else that could be done differently? So then you are able to scale up and maybe try your first workflow.
Great point. Thank you again, Gustavo.
Always a pleasure, Hannah.
And that's a wrap for the episode of Digmatisiert by PLSDR. If you enjoyed this, stay tuned for more on AI and digital projects. Thank you for listening and see you next time.
See you. Bye.